I was convinced that Tom Bauer was cursed. In the past 2 months, his house had burned to the ground. He'd been fired from his job as chief engineer at Tektronic Industries, and he'd been beaten and robbed in a parking lot. Since I met Tom a few years ago, we had become good friends. We were an odd couple. He was a successful professional, a graduate of a technical university, married to a beautiful model named Mitzi, and I was a Seminole, a descendant of Indian tribes, originally from Florida. I graduated high school, married a girl from Wendy's Diner, and I make my living giving tours to tourists at Alligator Park, some kind of attraction outside of Miami. Among other things, I collect venom from rattlesnakes and fight crocodiles. Tom was a practical man, and when I shared with him my speculations about the curse, he guffawed. "Sammy Burkle, I never realized you were such a superstitious type," he said. "I've just had a lot of bad luck, that's all. Things will get better, I'm sure." But Tom's misfortunes continued. He lost a large sum in the stock market, and his financial situation worsened. No one, not even small companies, wanted to hire him. The insurance company refused to pay the claim for the burnt house. They suspected him of arson. We sat at our favorite bar, Havana Joe's, and ordered some drinks. I hate to admit it, Sammy, but I may have been cursed. He took a sip from his mug. I was just about to tell you something about that. I suspected something was on his mind. I sipped my beer and waited for him to continue. A few months ago, in December, Mitzi and I attended a party at a tavern in Jamaica. There was a man there who called himself Dan Voodoo. He did all kinds of magic tricks, mind reading, stuff like that. He did some kind of ritual and apparently put a curse on me. I lived in Miami my whole life, but I never heard of Dan Voodoo. Why the hell would he do that? In a nutshell, I had a lot too much to drink at the time and interrupted his performance. He got really mad when I called him a bad name in front of everyone. And after that, he put a curse on me. What exactly did he say? I asked. Can you remember? I don't remember it exactly, but he said something about misfortunes being sent against me until... He looked around to make sure no one was listening. Until the one I love most is killed. That must be Mitzi. In light of recent misfortunes, I can't joke around anymore. Sammy, I'm really scared. Maybe we can find that voodoo man, I suggested, if you apologize and offer him some money to make it up to you. Maybe he'll call off his curse. He shook his head. I've already thought of that. I called Jamaica to that tavern where he was performing and found that he had already moved to Haiti. But I already have a plan to keep Mitzi safe. I'll tell her I'm with another woman and I want a divorce. She'll be hurt, but she'll be out of my life. That's not gonna work, I said. If she leaves you, you won't love her any less. And that voodoo man said you'd be cursed until the one you love the most dies. Nothing would change. I hadn't thought of that. His fingers twirled the mug nervously. But what the hell am I supposed to do? Just wait for Mitzi to die? How does she feel about that? I asked. Have you told her about your concerns? No, he answered. I don't want to upset her. She's even forgotten about the incident at the tavern in Jamaica. Even if I did tell her, she'd probably think I was stressed out from my recent failures. Maybe she would. Maybe it is. Maybe not. I signaled the waitress to bring another mug. But I think you should take this curse seriously, Tom. I might know a way to find out if this curse is real. Tom's face lit up. I'm willing to try anything. I have a great uncle who's a shaman, I told him. A shaman? Tom raised his eyebrows in surprise. Yes. These days, the Seminoles live pretty much the same way as everyone else. But there are a few who keep to the old traditions, and my uncle is one of them. He lives in a cabin on the reservation. Many modern Seminoles, and even some whites, go to him with their problems. I've seen him in a trance. It's scary. Shamanism, he said. Isn't that just magical tumbo-jumbo? Uh-huh, just like Dan Voodoo. He splashed his hands together. I've got it all figured out. Okay, I'd like to try. What do I need to do? Nothing, I replied. I'll take care of it myself. I'll take the day off work and visit my uncle. Just give me something that belongs to you, a tie clasp or something like that. Also, I need some cash as payment for his services. Also, I'd advise you not to leave Mitzi alone at night. A gun might even come in handy. Even if the voodoo man is fake, he can send an assassin to make his curse look real. My uncle was happy to see me. In the old days, he would have offered me his homemade wine, and we would have gotten drunk together. But he had grown old and weaker than I remembered. Sammy, my boy, it's so good to see you. It's been a long time. His teeth all fell out, and I had to strain to understand him. Like snakes and alligators? He laughed and made motions like he was fighting them. What brings you to your old uncle? I'm here to ask for your help for my friend. I told him Tom's story. He was silent for a long time before he answered. Voodoo, he said. Pretty powerful stuff. I don't know if I can handle it. It's risky. Uncle, I don't want you to risk yourself, but thanks for listening anyway. I better hurry back and try to find some other way to help Tom with this problem. There's no time to waste. He gave me a hard look. Sit down. I only said it was risky, but I didn't say I wouldn't try it. Did you bring anything from your friend? I handed him a tie clasp and an envelope of money. He closed his eyes and squeezed the clasp in his palms. Okay. Sammy, I'm gonna need to go into a deep trance, and no one is to disturb me, no matter what happens. You got it? I'd seen this before, so I knew what he meant and nodded. At first, he lay still, almost as if he were in a coma. Then he started shaking. His eyes flew open and he looked around wildly. His body twisted in spasms. After a few moments, he subsided again. His eyes focused, and he asked for water. I handed him a drink, and he sat up, still breathing heavily. I met this damn voodoo, he said. Our spirits began to fight. I couldn't hurt him, but he damn near overpowered me. I barely escaped. He didn't know my name and couldn't chase me. He stopped to catch his breath. My uncle had no air conditioning, not even a fan, and the heat was stifling. I wiped my forehead with my already damp handkerchief. So you didn't find out anything? It was hard for me to find out anything, but your friend must have really pissed off the voodoo man, and the voodoo man cursed him in return. You better hurry back, Sammy, because the man who's supposed to kill Tom's wife is Tom himself. He held out a tie clasp to me. I put a spell on it, he said. Now it has been turned into an amulet and can remove the curse. You must give it to your friend. But what about you? Will you be all right? Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. I just need a rest. But tonight, maybe tonight, your friend will kill his wife. Now go. I looked at my watch. It was already 7 o'clock in the evening, and I had about 4 hours to drive. I might not make it. I tried calling Tom on his cell phone, but no one answered. I jumped in my car and drove as fast as the rutted road would let me. When I finally reached the paved road, I stepped on the gas, hoping I wouldn't get pulled over by the patrolman. If Tom killed Mitzi under his spell, I don't think he'd be able to live with that thought. In my mind, I was already picturing finding both bodies lying together on the bed. At that moment, I decided to myself, if Tom and Mitzi died, I would find the voodoo man and make him pay for it. I had trouble finding the location of Tom and Mitzi's temporary home where they had moved after the fire. I finally found my way there when it was already 11 p.m. I pounded on the door, but there was no answer. So I put all my strength into the blow. The door cracked open, and at the same time the light came on. I came face to face with Tom. His eyes were glassy, and he was armed with a gun. He raised the weapon and pointed it at my chest. I raised my tie clasp, praying it would have any effect on him. He looked at the clasp, then at me. His gaze cleared and he lowered the gun. "Sammy, what the hell are you doing here?" "I'll explain later," I said. "What about Mitzi? Is she okay?" Oh my God, I had a bad dream about her. I was standing over her, pointing a gun at her head. But then I heard a knock on the door. Damn it. It wasn't a dream. Soon, Tom's luck returned. He accepted a job offer with a bigger paycheck than his old job. The insurance company paid him in full. And now Tom carries his tie clasp amulet with him at all times.